Now I know this summer most of you are planning on taking a hiking trip or a climbing trip or doing some sort of outdoors activity, but you never know when you're going to get into a situation where you'll need to tie these few essential knots that I'm going to teach you today. So the first knot that I want to show you is called the butterfly. Now as I go, I'll explain why these come in handy and why you can use these knots. Now the butterfly is a middle of the line knot, and the easiest way to do it is to hold the rope over your hand, come around the outside towards your fingers, and then cross it at the back and back towards the thumb. And then you're going to take the middle line and come back around this one and all the way out. And I know it looks fast as you do it, but there's a website called Knots by Grog that can give you the essentials. Now, when you tie this knot, what the specialty of this knot is that when you pull on it, it can be in the middle of a line going up or horizontal. And when you pull on it, it won't come untied. And it won't pull tension no matter which side it's pulled from. Or it can be used to hang things from, camping, things like that. And that's pretty much the basics of the butterfly, but it's important to know, and it's a good knot. It comes in handy a lot of the time. Now the second knot I want to show you is the bowline. The bowline is a pretty unique knot. It's one of a kind in the way it's tied, and it never tightens down is one of its unique features, no matter what. A lot of these knots that say they'll never be tightened down, with enough tension they will eventually, but this one stays tight. It's very unique, but this is a finished version. Now I'll show y'all how to tie it. The easiest way that I learned how to do it was to take your rope and make a little hoop in it. And you're going to take the end of it and come through. You want to come around this back side and then just back through that hole. And it's not, with a little bit of practice, it's very easy. And that's it. That's the bowline. But they'll use these sometimes in life safety. It was used a lot more a long time ago, before they figured out that it's not good because it's just one line. You can't really add on a lot to it, so if you were to use it to make a harness or anything, you can't make it any thicker or anything. But it never tightens, so if you were to put it around your waist, when you were a kid and you tied ropes and they tightened up and squeezed your waist, this one wouldn't do that. That's the bowline though. And so the last knot that I'm going to show you tonight, this is the simple figure eight, but I'm going to show you the figure eight, and then I'm going to show you a few alterations to it, different ways you can use it. The figure eight is the essential life safety knot. It's the knot to be used anytime that you are hanging or rappelling or doing any climbing or anything. This is the knot that you would tie. Figure eight, because it is a figure eight, you pretty much make a loop. You make your loop. Get it right. And you come back around, and then you see your figure eight there, and you're just going to come right back through there. And that's the basic figure eight. Now, you can't use that a lot, obviously, just a knot. But if you take your rope and we're to double it over and make the same knot, and it's very simple. Never comes untied, because it's pulling on itself the whole time, and then you can use that to hook onto things. And if this was longer, you'd maybe have one end hanging down and just use the end of it doubled over. But this is what you would use if you were using your carabiner. You would hook that onto there as you rappelled, or hook this to your latches up top as you rappelled down. Your doubled over figure eight is what they'll call it. Another alteration to the figure eight is, say you got just a pole or maybe a tree limb that you can't make a hoop and just hook it onto there. You don't have that luxury. So what you'll do, I may need more rope for this one. What you'll do, it takes a good bit of rope, but it's a good one to know. You make your regular figure eight, right? Now, I would go around, we'll tie it to this bowline here. I'll go through what I was trying to go to, and then this is called the figure eight double over. I'm going to come back almost exactly the same way I came. I'm just going to follow this rope back in. But you just pretty much trace it back the same way it was tied. It takes a good bit of rope. And now you've got it tied on there, never comes undone. But you didn't have to, you know, hook on anything. And that's what you do if you had something you couldn't just hook onto. And that's the figure eight. This is, like I said, this is your life safety knot. There's a website called Knots by Grog that I used when I was in Fire Academy. They told us about it. And I used the Fire Academy book. We learned a lot about it when I was in there. I used this knot right here to rappel off a 3-story building, I think, you know, so I had to put my own trust in my own knots and everything. And it worked, you know, I'm still here today, but like I said, I taught you tonight the butterfly, the bowline, and the figure eight with a few alterations. So if you are out this summer and unfortunately something does happen where you have to use these, I hope you can remember this and take this knowledge with you and it works out for the best. Thank you.